Good evening, people. I don't know. I think it's Tuesday? I don't remember the date. It's October to something, but it's Tuesday. First Tuesday of the month type thing. I wanted to talk about something really, really serious. And even though I think everything I talk about is actually serious, but it's probably not serious to some folk, you know. It's about like sex, okay? Everybody's grown. Everybody's had sex before, you know. Well, unless you're a child or something. And this video isn't for children, okay? This is for adults only. And if you have a teenager or something like that, and then you think it's appropriate for them, then you can pass the video along, all right? But if not, don't say it's my fault, because it's not, okay? Okay. Now, they always talk about sex ed, sex education. They talk about like, what is it in the Bible is more on equally yoked partnerships and compatibility, okay? It boils down to the bone chicka bow wow. That's what it really boils down to, okay? And it's important. It's important. But I'm going to explain the difference, okay? I did mention this to somebody, a couple of people. But I'm going to mention it again to the world, all right? So let's say you meet somebody and you're kicking it and you like what they got going on, what they saying, how they moving, whatever the case may be. You cool with it because y'all feel like you vibing the same way, okay? Ain't nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all right? But nobody likes to disclose their medical history, medical situations, all right? Makes people uncomfortable. It's kind of like that saying, when they don't want you to talk about money, health, and your religion. You know, those topics they say all the time is off limits, right? Okay. I need you to think differently. All right. I don't need something to be a knockout, drug out war with you and whoever your person is. But I just need you to start thinking differently. All right. So, me, myself, I'm an open book. You can ask me anything, I'll tell you. If I have been through it. If I haven't been through it, I ain't going to even stick my neck out there and say I have. And then if I know someone else that has, I'm still not going to stick my neck out there. I'd rather talk to that person in private and then ask them if they wanted to, maybe speak about it or something like that. And that's just in reference to anything. It's not just something sexual. That's just anything, okay? But in the arena of sexual things, biblically, it's about being equally yoked, right? Equally yoked means back in the day when you were before slavery, before tribes or during tribes, and you got your different Indian groups, okay, and they want their child to be equally yoked with the person. So It's not necessarily that that child chooses the person. It's more like how in my situation, they asked God to choose the person. Okay? And this is the first time I've ever done that, meaning ask God to choose the person. And no matter what is going on, no matter what, I would still say that that is the best route to go. And the reason being is because just like your tribes, they want to meet and greet you. They want to see how you interact, how your family is, what your practices are, and basically, what you don't practice. But people don't think about the fact that you wear a mask. And in any relationship, whether it's ordained or not, it takes a while for that mask to come off. I like to time things, and it depends on how intriguing a person is. But you can replace intriguing with crazy, okay? Or just questionable, right? It's usually like 6 to 2 years. Depends on how engulfed they have become in that other persona of a person, okay? But even your tribes go as far as like wanting to know about your bloodline, wanting to know about your history, wanting to know about your habits and things of that nature. And it's because everything starts to blend when you actually get with that person. It blends. And if it's not a good blend, meaning this is a puzzle. If these pieces don't fit like this, and then this can lock in like this, no solid foundation. It's already in some form of turmoil, chaos, disarray, and manipulation. And it comes with some kind of lies, okay? Because, you see, no one can get through this unless you want to pry yourself through it. It's like, okay. That's the equally yoked. No, wait, let me finish with the equally yoked too. Even though I talk about how tribes do this, okay? And if you think about history, you would say to yourself, well, they didn't have labs. They didn't have this. They didn't have hospitals or nurses, doctors. That's some bullshit. Okay? They feed us the versions of history that they want to feed us. All right? And so if you do your other part to history, meaning looking up Black entrepreneurs, inventors of the ages, you're going to see that we invented a whole lot of shit that they don't talk about. And so there was always a method to determine something. All right. So let's get that part out. Okay. And so I'm an old blood person, meaning OLD. It comes from the beginning of time. Gods come and see the humans, and then they mate with the humans or whatever, like that. That's the beginning, okay? So it's still an infusion of DNA, okay? And it also correlates with, if you look at Genesis, and when they came to the earth, right? The gods. Trust me, it won't just male, female too. They needed the right female to procreate, to make what they felt was a proper, suitable, mixture of a human being. So in Genesis, it will talk about that mother. I think they went through about 3, 4, 5 different women. And, they might carry a baby to some form of term, but it wouldn't survive, or it had deformities or something like that. But that black woman now, okay, she was able to birth not just the first one, all 8. All right. Then the lineages start from like the 8 kings, like that. It's the same thing. All that's in the equally yoked. Okay. And then on the other end, where you're not equally yoked, is even if you look at it from the Bible standpoint, when those other women were trying to birth a child from the gods, and it wasn't totally successful. Some form of deformities or the child passed. That's an unequally yoked situation. The other part is what people are not going to like what I'm about to say. Trying to say it where I don't offend anyone, but it's going to be offensive anyway. It's like you have the heathen and the divine classes of people, and you want them to infuse together, right? The heathen thinks whatever's in our bloodline, we want to get rid of it. We want to dump it in the divine bloodline. It's just the truth. Okay? And instead of going through the proper processes mentally, physically, emotionally, financially, spiritually, economically, historically, it doesn't matter what you put. Everything that covers the whole person. Instead of righting those wrongs and fixing those problems within, okay, before, excuse me, I just ate. Excuse me. Y'all heard that, just came up. But instead of like fixing that, they do the quick route. I like you, you like me. Ooh, let's get married. Like this, right? You see this? People can get through this. People can get through this. It's not this. It's this. Because as soon as something is found out or something is wrong and you can visibly see it, or let's say you just get something in the mail, don't matter, whatever the case, it's a discovery, right? The discovery turns that unequally yoked situation into an even more unequally yoked situation, because it does this and then it parts. Okay? And I want you to look at this like prayer. You pray, right? You could pray a prayer of any kind. And as soon as it's not going in your favor, even though you prayed this prayer, you get upset. And then you want to separate from the divine. Same thing. It's not rooted in faith, belief, or hope. All the stuff you can't see. But you have it. All right? Okay. You marry this person. You get together with them. You're not equally yoked. You're trying to figure out why you're fussing all the time, why you're at odds all the time, or when you tell them something and you want them to do something and it doesn't go over right. You know, that conflict is the key to letting you know, uh-oh, shit, I fucked up. But the way society is run, they would say, hey, if you have problems in your marriage, if you have problems in your finance, if you have problems in with your mental health, they want you to go to all these external places. This is to keep you from looking within. Because even within is already telling you, uh-oh, I fucked up. Okay? And when you hear that, again, people are not going to like what I'm about to say. You need to depart. If you are married, boy, you need to divorce. You know why? It's a contract. When you look up the word contract, it's death. All forms of contracts are deaths. That means you're here for not a long time, but for a good time. Sometime. That's really what a contract is all about. When you're unequally yoked. If you are equally yoked, that contract isn't a death sentence. It's a life sentence. That means you're able to communicate. You're able to understand. You're able to, like, whatever your partner isn't capable of doing, you are. Okay? And then the meet, join, lock in, because you understand the thinking of each other, the feeling of each other, the emotion of each other. You understand. It's not foreign to you. You don't look at your mate like a fucking alien. Okay? And that's me using alien in the bad sense of the word, because everybody already just looks at me like, she's some form of one. Okay? But it makes you want to, you can question and you can ask questions. The point I want you to get is, if you ask questions, you can't get mad at the answer. Okay? Now, if you are answering the question, right? Still can't get mad at the other person's answer. Okay? Unequally yoked, they get mad when it's just not going their way, being said their way, done their way, any of it, because they know the plan. The plan is, let's infuse, let's transfer what I don't want to you. You don't know it, because they don't. No one's actually going to come out and say, I kind of do. I like you. But that's about it. I just want to dump this shit off over here. Okay? Now this is where it's going to get deeper. You have sex, right? You have your DNA intertwined, your blood intertwined. You have your ancestors intertwined. You have your bloodline intertwined. Okay? You have your mind, heart, body, soul, spirit intertwined. Okay? This is one thing. I'm just going to give this as an example. when you're not equally yoked, okay? You're walking. You're skipping. You're happy. You're enjoying your life. You're living it. You go home. It is over. You stop bobbing. You feel it. It's a disgusting feeling. A dreadful feeling. The energy changes, and you haven't even made it into the house yet. It has infected the area. What used to be serene, peaceful, kind, loving, expressionable, it's gone. But you don't say anything. You don't even do anything because you don't know what to say or what to do. You know how you are, and you're just so fucking confused on why your other half ain't the fucking same, okay? It's like you look at him like, I know I love you, but shit, you know, what's going on up here? And then transfers start to happen. Their mental bleeds into your mental. And what you need to say to yourself is, wait a minute, self. I didn't used to think like this. I didn't used to ponder about this. I didn't used to dwell on this. No, this ain't coming from me. This is about you getting to know yourself. This is about you supposed to have discovered yourself before marriage. So even if you are in a marriage, you still need to discover yourself. Because anytime your feelings and your moods change, you always need to ask yourself why. And you need to figure out where it's being triggered from. Or whatever the question was, the situation, who asked it to you. Like the triggers. Because people will trigger you. And if they keep triggering you, it's deliberate. That's what I want people to understand. It's deliberate. They want to drive you into an early grave when you're unequally yoked. They want to keep some chaos and conflict going when you're unequally yoked. No matter how much you want to fight for peace. You gotta go from fighting for peace to demanding peace. It's a must. And you know what that means? Order. So even if you're the man and you protect, provide, and you demand some order, and you're not seeming to get it. Okay? It's not you. It's your other half. And the only reason why I say about the man, because the way the hierarchy, that word, is set up, the man goes to work, busts his motherfucking ass, long nights, long days, and he comes home. Who wouldn't want quiet, peace, understanding, friendly, conversation, friendship, or polite children, anything. Why? Why wouldn't he want that? If he's the king of his castle, why isn't his castle in order? And let's flip it. If you are the woman, you would still want the same thing. Even if you are the one doing the man role, you would still want the same thing. Because you don't want to crack and break mentally. Any form of chaos has you crack mentally. And if it continues, the more cracked you are. It's kind of like your skin, the wrinkles, the deep embedded lines, the aging. That's the death in the contract. Don't let me take it a step further. Because if you know you're a youthful person and you start to see things and you say, damn, I didn't go through this shit before. Why am I going through it now? That attachment that you got, it ain't the right one. It's not. You have to reevaluate that attachment, even if you're married to her or him. Everything I wrote about the word company, business, partnership, relationship, they are used intertwined. They're like together. Like if I'm at home, people come over, I have company, right? But I can also have my own company, which is my business, right? But then I can use the word and say, hey, when I'm in my home, I mind my business. And I want my company, when they come over, to mind they fucking business too. And so when you go to work at your company, you expect your employees to still be able to have a conversation with you, yet mind their fucking business. Then what you don't think about is this. If any person doesn't know how to mind their own damn business at home, they don't know how to mind it at work. They don't know how to mind it in their partnership, their relationship, their company, or their business. Everything spills over. It's like the waves are going against each other, which is impossible. But that's the break in this. So if you go home to it and you at work with it, you're a broken motherfucker and they know it. Do they give a damn? No. No. They don't. They have served their purpose. They have done their job. That's how they look at it. And then they're in it for the long haul. Now I'm going to go a little bit deeper. You know how you can procreate and make children? And let's say your child has some disorder. It doesn't matter. You love that child. It's your child. But you don't think about where that disorder came from. So what if I told you that disorder is in the DNA, in the blood, in the nervous system, in the mind of that unequally yoked person that you married? And it has trickled down to the child. The other thing that an unequally yoked person will do is they will inflict their fucked up shit on that innocent child and turn it into conflict for that innocent child. And you could think that your mate is like cool, great, all that shit, and end up they're not. The thing of it is, back in the day, people watched for the mental instability of others, and they did bad things to people that were mentally unstable. That wasn't the way to fix it. Just like they're going to find out that marrying someone like that isn't the way to fix it. The way you fix it is you go within. You must heal all of your childhood wounds and not harbor any resentment and not take on any negative words. That means anger is a devil, shame is a devil, doubt is a devil, lack is a devil, demeaning is a devil, despicable is a devil, damage is a devil, sadness, a devil. All of those things. I can keep going. Weakness, death, all devils. And then you just don't realize the person that you are with, because of their mask, they've been hiding about 10 to 15, maybe 20 of those devils. They don't even understand they have them because of how society looks at stuff. But society is based on capitalism. Society and capitalism want to capitalize off of your entire body. Even the parts of your body that you can't see, but you can feel. They want to capitalize off your happiness, so they make you unhappy. Your sadness, so they, take away your joy. Your charisma, so they can take away, your personality. It's like that. And they can do it to children, too. Young age. The younger you start, the better. Not even understanding that comes from other generations. Other family members that you're around that think this way. And when you don't know that that's wrong or bad behavior, yes, you're going to do it. It's the same like another analogy, and I hate to say it, but it's the truth. if you were ever molested, right? You do look at that molester as like this evil person, you know. But it doesn't necessarily stop you from being a molester yourself. Because you were around it as a child, seen it as a child, been that as a child, they manipulated your mind as a child. That means they not only manipulated your thoughts, but how you perceive people and how you view, like, what that type of love should be. You don't realize that it's fucked up love until a person wants to, like, retaliate or snitch, or they catch something you say and it's like, whoa, wait a fucking minute. Yeah, that shit? Nah. Mm-mm. We ain't doing that. You know? It still gets passed in the DNA, in the blood, nervous system. It's passed down. And I hate to say it, all trauma is passed down through the mother to the child. It's gathered from your pops too, but it's transferred from the mom to the child. So just think of whatever your mother didn't cope with, deal with, handle, rectify. And it's because of what someone else did to your mom. And you don't think it's going to be done to you because you're different than your mother. But when your mother raises you and they've gotten her to believe that this is okay, she's going to raise you the same way. It's a transfer. And then, because it's already in your DNA anyway, I said before, like, you don't know that you're walking in your destiny, but your destiny does already know that. Every step you take, you're walking into your destiny. Unless you decide to change every step you take. And what that means is, before you take a step physically, you take a step here mentally. You reprogram your steps here. Whatever the situation is, you play that situation back in your mind and you correct it. Even though it was done incorrectly to you, right? This is how you correct it. And you know the reason why you want to correct it? It moves it out of your DNA, out of your blood, out of your nervous system. And then that, my friend, is an ancestor 2, 3, 4, maybe 100 that you've saved by doing the work and clearing that out. You've even saved your mother too. And your pops. This is how that's done when you're unequally yoked. Okay? And you have to keep doing that. So you could see a whole lot of shit that's not right in life or in society or even with people that you don't know. But let's say you babysit them. You don't want to perpetuate that lie. You know? It's the same like, hey, it's time to get your hair done. Let's go get your hair done. And we're going to go get your hair done every Wednesday. Okay? And that child will say, I don't like how they do my hair. I don't like how she combs it. I don't like how she talk. I don't like, and she burned me, da-da-da. I know, Okay? And you want to coach that child on how to deal with that hairdresser. And you're not listening to that child. Because that child has valid points. Instead of you saying to the hairdresser, like, damn, why you so rough? Or why you burning my baby? You see what I'm saying? Or why you just, all your frustrations you taking out on her head? You get it? You don't want that. For your kid. You know? Because that kid is being vocal and telling you what is going on because they trust you. And you have to make the appropriate arrangements to abide by that trust and continue that trust. Okay? Now don't picture an outside child. You yourself is the child. You're just in your adult body. But you're mature enough now to say, I'm going to actively participate in changing parts of me that need to be changed. You don't have to wait for someone to tell you that it needs to be changed. Just change it. You know? Whatever it is that you do and you don't do it right, you know, and you know it's a fucked up habit of yours and motherfuckers have told you about it and everything else, correct it. And you correct it in your mind first. And I would tell people in my writings, you can create a whole room, a whole city, a whole town, a whole community in your mind. You're still co-creating with the universe. Because what you're doing, God is up there and here. They're going to help you. And you're going to realize how things start to open up, unlock, change, grow, mature. And you get understanding. But at the same time as you're getting that understanding, you yourself as the child, okay, you've been through that trauma, whatever it is. You know how it feels, okay? You're like the example, but you're also your solution, you know? And the divine is the in-between, co-creating with the universe, helping you discover yourself and discover the answers and discover healing. All right? So that's like an unequally yoked person and a yoked person. And they get together and then their traumas, craziness, difficulties, and and the children and the spouse, whatever. You go through stages to correct that. And that's if you want to really be in your relationship and work it out. Okay? On the yoke side of it all, it's pretty damn easy. It's already been done. Your ancestors that are living, you know, they've talked to you. They've talked to that other family. You went to get testing done together. You've had communication about it. You've talked about things that are uncomfortable. You've reconciled with all kinds of different things, and you've made the appropriate changes. It's like a equal give and take. It's always going to be like tennis, you know. Okay, like that. The sex, man, you can go crazy with the sex. You don't have no problems, because you already checked all that shit out. Okay? And then you don't have no second guessing going on in the back of your mind. None of that. It's like, ooh, expression at its finest. Okay? And you can do that unequally yoked too. But the biggest difference is, on the divine side, two divine beings, no diseases, no infusions into your blood, into your nervous system, into your DNA that's fucked up. Nope. It's like washed out, cleaned out. You know, it's renewed. That's what people like to use. I would say like evaporation, because when I became Christ conscious, it was like, man, they lifted things off for me. It was like this. Gone. Okay? And they would tell me like ways that myself will improve. I would age backwards. I would get my years back that I lost. Everything in the inside of my body would be healed. And it's kind of like, as I clear a curse, things change. Just keeps changing, keeps going. You know, it doesn't stop until basically all the fuck shit, the curses, hexes, and all that shit is gone. You know? And as you get rewarded, so does your family get rewarded. When all things are cleared. You know? Now on the unequally yoked side, oh, you catch some shit, boy. You know. Man. Whatever you can think of, you're going to catch it. Mental disorders. Spazzing out. You know, no good decision making. To STDs. To fuck ups in your finances. It's like, it's so much of a up and down roller coaster. It's a whirlwind of what ifs. And that's all you can just keep wondering. You could go to the doctor, you could go therapy, you could go, it's like, fuck that shit still comes back. Or let me say it like this. Let's say you got rid of something. You can get it again. That's how it goes. So, how I want to put this to people is this. Now, I've always healed myself, even though I didn't think that's what the fuck I was doing. Man, that tickled my ear. Oof, oof. You know, but I was actively participating in wanting to heal myself. And I would do that. You know, not understanding or knowing I'm turning myself into a healer. But that was still me walking in my destiny type thing. You know. And then also, you know, God would tell you, anybody you come across, whatever they got going on. And you don't want to use that against someone, but you do want to tell them, man, if you just step over here, give God just a little bit more attention, you won't worry about anything or anyone. You know? So people ask all the time, how do I stay so calm? Because if I'm sad, I've had that sad feeling before. I know how it feels. So why would I keep it now? Why would I hold on to it? I've held on to it before. I know how it feels. It's a feeling. Don't feelings go away? When you want it to go away faster than not? Yeah. Man, this person got some crazy kids. You wanted to go away. And you know what I asked God? Or my angels or my ancestors? I said, man, can y'all replace this sadness with some joy? I'll start to feel it. Then I'll say, thank you. I appreciate it. And I learned that lesson. But it's quicker. It's easier for me to learn it. And go on. Keep going. Not dwell, you know. Because you have to understand, like, life doesn't stop. Everybody always says it, but they don't comprehend what the fullness of that means. It's plunging forward, never backwards. Why would you go backwards? Do you notice with the animals? They go with the flow of the universe. They don't go backwards. Why would you go backwards? Why would you stay backwards? Why would you not want to grow? Why would you not want to learn? Why would you not want to ask questions? Like, why would you not want to see yourself in a better light? I never thought backwards. People just wanted to keep me backwards. I always thought forward. So whether people saw my potential or not, I did. So when y'all ask those questions like, why hasn't she given up yet? It's not in my DNA. It's not in my blood or my nervous system. Because even those things you have to clear out. Your doubt, your fear, your scaredness, your inability to see another's point of view. It's a real thing. So you think you've learned. You haven't learned anything if you still stay backwards. So even when you read the Bible, and I said this a couple of times, we haven't been enslaved for 400 years. That's 600. Those 200 years is to give us the illusion that we're free. And then once the illusion is about to be broken, they wrap us in another slavery. And then you got that 600 times 6 eras in time. 3,600 years. 3,600 years they have trapped the same people 6 times. And this is the best way I could tell people about myself. And you too. You came here 6 times. Your spirit and your soul don't change. It's just your avatar, your clothing, which is your vessel, changes. That's it. So at some point you were black, you were white, you were Asian, you were Arab, Indian, whatever, Mexican, you were whatever. But you've circled this globe at least once. I came back each era, clearing curses each era. But I'm in a different family each era to clear curses for that family each era in time. Until I get to the 7th era, which is what we just left out of. And I cleared the curses of the family that I'm in now. So I'm going to let you know, even when you want to hurt me, kill me, write me off, this is why you can't. Because I'm designed to do this. But the agreement that me and God had was that this is going to be the last time that I would have to do this ever again. No matter what. Because technically I am the woman or the mother of the 8 kings. So I clear my bloodline to the beginning of time. And it not only includes the family that I'm in, which is the first royal family of the world. That's one way to solidify and lock in some shit, ain't it? Get it? But that's the main family that's always attacked by the devil. My job is swallow the devil. All shape, forms, and fashion. Get rid of the devil. I don't have to kill, steal, or destroy to do that. All I have to do, and all you have to do, is educate your people. Be an example by showing them how to clear out the devil. That's it. I can point out all day what devils look like. It's not that that devil is a person or even an animal. Like, the devil is a word. That word grows into that little evil leprechaun that I talk about in a couple of my stories. You know, that grown mini me who has the ego the size of a 10-foot tall man, but he's 3 feet something, 4 foot something. That's that ego and pride. You want to kind of tame that in women and in men. It's a thing. And you don't want people that have that little leprechaun around you all the time. Because some way or another, they know how to just keep on latching on, keep on. Then they say, you know, that motherfucker jump on your back, and and he can fit. So you gotta be mindful of that. Kids getting out of school. But I come to do that, and I did it. So now the world will start to live in harmony. And then no harm meant for all of like the karmic people, the little leprechaun people, the people that just think, man, tower after tower, disadvantage after disadvantage, bad luck after bad luck, whatever, right? And they're looking at how they don't want to face it. Facing it clears out your demons, clears out your devils within yourself. Karma is just you being forced to sit down and look at who you are and what you do, and that you need to change. Whatever you've done and it keeps being put in your face like a mirror, you must correct it the proper way. Not in a way where you want to escape, where you want to hurt someone, where you want to belittle someone, or steal from someone. No, you got to look at you. So a lot of people that wear these devilish masks, they are lying to themselves even. And they know it. But it helps to keep them sane in some way. But it's a false sense of sanity. And when you want to heal, grow, evolve, you can't live in that false reality. You just can't. That false reality, it doesn't help you solve anything. It just it just what's the word I want to use? It like mask the problem, you know? And that's what people want to use this, like the sex for, to mask the problem, you know, to cloak in your energy, to feed off of you, and they rather live in another person's persona than their own. And it's because they already know the persona that they've like cultivated. That's a false sense of harvest. And so if you want a plentiful harvest, you can't cloak into someone else or hide within someone else and be out here pretending to be someone else because you think you're not being seen. You are being seen, even by the people that you're around. And you're being seen by God. So even when people wonder, why didn't I die? I'm telling you, I wasn't cloaked in anyone else's energy. I was my own self. My own self did not do any of those things that the other people did that were cloaked in my energy. And God could tell the difference. And guess what? God came to my rescue and said, hey, got these type of motherfuckers trying to do this shit to you now. Wake your ass up. I got a lot of shit I need to tell you. So forth and so on. So even though you could be cloaked in my energy, you used to, not now. But you could be cloaked in my energy, okay? My vibration, my frequency was always different than yours. Because that's a thought process. And then that's a heart process. And so if I'm always in the energy of love, real love, pure love, self-love, not false love, pretend, or let me see what I can get if I just say, oh, honey. What you want for me doesn't happen. It's no balance. You're down like this. You know, I'm up here. I'm balanced too. So you can't even get me like this. You can't get me like this. I stay like this. That means I hold a frequency, a vibration of balance, while the rest of the world is imbalanced. So whatever you send, like a hit, it'll go like this. And then it'll find someone else. I hate to say it. On that frequency. Yeah. You know, and it doesn't matter, even if it was going this way. It's going to go past. It's going to find someone else on that frequency. You know? So it's the same even when you're having sex. You can be full of passion. And you could be intertwined with a equally yoked person or a non-equally yoked person. The non-equally yoked person, whatever they have, you don't get it. It doesn't match your vibration or your frequency in the inside. And then on top of it too, most people are looking at the outside. They're not even thinking about your insides. But if your insides don't match the inside of that other person, you don't get to gather all their little bad little demons. Okay? So for us chosen people, this shit is gonna fuck you up, but I gotta just tell you, you can't even make kids with an unequally yoked person. You think you can, but you really can't. The frequency will always miss. And it's kind of like when a woman goes to a fertility clinic or the man, and they're trying to figure out why we can't get pregnant. Someone is of a different nature, you know? And then sometimes when you can make children, that's because they kept you at a lower nature or vibration. So you can be a match and make a creation. It's not a divine creation though, or a holy creation. And it doesn't matter how much you go to church and you open your Bible. When you're not divine in the inside and coming from a divine lineage, you have to work on your inside to become one with the divine, to get rid of your heathenism, your devilish ways. Yeah. And I'm going to tell you how God told me. I am preserved for the man that is my divine counterpart on my timeline, okay? And you know why I'm laughing? I've been on preserve for like 10 fucking years. Yeah. I ain't even know it until God told me. Because other motherfuckers was cloaked in my energy and shit. And having me like this, up and down, crisscross. This is, this bullshit, right? And, when I got into God, God's like, hey, girl, you doing? Damn, you still, what the fuck? You ain't even made it to this, that yet? And I'm like, no, daddy, I ain't made it. What's going on? I gotta review some shit, look at some shit. And he'll say, oh, I see what's going on. And I would be like, well, what is it? I don't know. I don't understand. God said to me, Oh, some nasty, dirty people. Man, they sent you a shitload of heathens. What? So you might, change it up. Devils. They want you to have a devil child. And God said, not under my watch. Oh no. That's not gonna happen. Because I showed you what'll happen if that happens. And he did. Pure destruction of an entire world. And I'll get into that part of it another day. But he said, I'm not letting you have a devil child. Not my daughter. Nope. I don't care how much you care about this person. I don't care how much you love this person. Hell no. And this was before I asked God to choose my mate. He was giving me different information, and I learned. And I was like, damn it. All of them were devils? Like, how? Some of them were like so nice, so sweet, so shit. He knew how they get down, what they about, where they come from, what up. And he didn't have to tell me all the details. He just told me like this. You ain't going back to nothing from your past, you hear me? I said, oh, yes sir, I hear you. He said, if your past decides to present itself in your face, you must deny your past. I said, okay. And then I had a few from my past. And I'm not talking about this lifetime as past. It's this one and all the other damn lifetimes I've lived on this fucking earth and came here. 20-something lifetimes. A lot of motherfucking lifetimes. Nope. So even if I don't know you now, but I knew you then, it was like off limits. Main reason why they were off limits because they were the same people organizing shit together, and being my opposition and coming against me and linking together to make shit happen. And then it dawned on me, and I said to God, I said, oh my God, I am like their girlfriend, or I was a girlfriend this life, but past life I was like their mother. Bingo. Or their father. Bingo. I said, oh shit, this is crazy. But you take a turn at being every fucking thing when you go. So I said, man, wow. So it helped me to understand like how people were able to even understand me, but I didn't understand them type shit. And even down to sex, God allowed me to hear different men and women, because all it just takes is you to have sex with the wrong person. They can transfer anything to you. And but he allowed me to hear the men say, gosh, I just gotta get her pregnant. Man, I just need to knock her ass up shit that motherfuckers is out here doing? Kinda, yeah. Shit, this how they make a living off of this shit. What? Yeah, some real shit. Real shit. And, you know what I said to God? I said, this is why I had the fibroids so bad. And my tubes were removed. He said, bingo. Oh, I meant that. No, ma'am. But I didn't even know that that was like God's doing. But because God can see timelines, situations, people, like outcomes, forecasts. It doesn't matter what word you put. They can see it. He was like, no. But he gave me the option to choose, okay? You know, like choose my mate, choose my lover, choose my happiness because of my timeline that I reached. And I said, I think this is a trick. I'm not gonna do it. Because you've already told me everyone that has presented themselves to me from my past were unequally yoked, okay? And then no one wanted to tell me how divine I was, all right? And who I was, okay? So I really don't have a clue on who does know everything about me and who doesn't. Because there are people from my different lifetimes that still know who I am and found my energy, and I don't know who they are. So no, sir, I'm not choosing. I threw it right back in God's court. And so you choose. And he did. But he told me all the loops, the twists, the turns, the shit. That I don't have to like go through and deal with, meaning in conversation. But my silly ass, I started off with the angelic conversation first. Because I was so excited. Angelic wise, I was like, yo! You know, at first I was angry with that person. Because his dick was just getting in a whole lot of fucking trouble. You know? And then I realized, oh shit. Our body parts are the same, meaning healing properties. And feel good, you know? And God decides to just come on back in and tell me, hey, I told you that shit. I ain't tell that nigga that shit, though. I said, what? What the fuck? Man, this motherfucker think I'm crazy because I'm leaving with all this celestial shit. And you ain't even tell this motherfucker this celestial shit? Daddy got what the fuck is up, yo? You know what I'm saying? But God said, you know, he doesn't hear anyone that talks like that. And I wanted you to tell him. Because when I do it, when it happens, yes, he's gonna believe in me. Just like you. God said, I don't have to convince you. And you aren't necessarily convincing him. I'm going to convince him. And he's going to tell the world. I said, well, you got a plan. All right. But I felt stupid as fuck. And in some ways I still do. But, you know, I would lead with different things. And then I would do practical shit too. And lead with that. And I didn't know my phone. I knew my phone was cloned. But you know, whoo, that cold air blowing right up my nose and my mouth. But what I didn't know was, I knew my phone was cloned. I didn't think that it was other people on the other side to my phone that were like intercepting our messages and then pretending to be me. Another thing about the unequally yoked type people. Okay? So they would take everything I would say and they would say it to him. Get him fall in love with them and hate me because they knew how to hide messages. And he could be thinking like, she's not responding to me. And I was. And you know what? The same thing that happened to me happened to him. And I realized late that that fucking guy was the motherfucking devil. Man. Because I said in another video that there was a guy that fell in love with me when he met me. But he was shy. He didn't understand. He didn't know how to express himself to me. Okay? And what he did, he expressed himself to his friend. And his friend said, okay, I'll relay the message to her. But the friend relayed the message to me as himself. Not as the other man that loved me, infatuated by me, and had pure intentions with me. The friend relayed the message as himself. Got me to fall in love with him. And then told me all this fucked up shit in between. And I said, what am I in love with again? But it took me to come around, and I'm gonna stop this because my battery's about to go dead. But it took me to come around and see both of them in action to understand the difference. And it made the friend that lied have to confess. Get it? And even though the other man was still in love with me, and I fell for him, it still didn't last because of that unequally yoked fucking person that was in the middle and fucked shit up. And I had fell for what he was saying because I thought that was actually his thoughts that he was saying to me. Fucked up kind of mental game. But that's what's going on with him. And it doesn't matter if I explain it to that young man. He has to see it himself like I had to. And it's gonna make you feel some kind of way. It's gonna make you very upset. It's gonna eat at you in a different kind of way. You know? And it's gonna you're gonna have a disdain for that other person. And do you know that other person, the one that wanted to keep relaying those messages back to me as himself, he's near my soulmate doing the same fucked up ass shit. Pretending to be the sun. He's the devil. He even has a nickname, Heart of the Sun. And he's the devil. You know? But that's an example of how you get trapped up and you don't realize. But the devil does. When they do hurtful, deceitful shit like that, just to keep fucking with you and taking from you. And those are the things and the type of people I'm trying to get rid the fuck of. Period. I'm gonna go because my phone's about to go dead. Alright, folks. Have a wonderful day. Enjoy.